Algerian president announces departure plans after mass protests. World News. The Guardian. Spokesman for ailing Abdelaziz Bouteflika says he will stand down after next election. Spokesman for ailing Abdelaziz Bouteflika says he will stand down after next election. Algeria's ailing president has promised to step down after the next election and enact reforms, as the nation's elite moved to consolidate its power in the face of historic mass protests. "I've heard the heartfelt cry of the protesters," said Abdelaziz Bouteflika on national television on Sunday night. Addressing the "This will find my successor in a manner incontrovertibly peaceful, free, and transparent," he said, adding that he would hold a national referendum to adopt a new constitution which will mark the birth of a new republic and a new Algerian political system. And 6,000 Algerians protested in Paris on Sunday, while thousands of students took to the streets in Algiers. Observers waited. Tens of thousands of Algerians protested across the country on Friday to demand that the 82-year-old leader renounce his bid for a fifth term. Bouteflika has, in a sign of tensions at the top and the regime's determination to maintain power, Bouteflika suddenly sacked his campaign manager, Abdelmalek Sellal, on Saturday. He was replaced. Rumors have been rife that the Algerian elite would seek to replace Bouteflika with another candidate to ensure the long-term survival of the regime he has headed since 1999, but there was little to suggest on the day of the deadline that the president and his entourage would cede to the demands of the protesters. Stephen McInerney, of the Washington-based think tank Project on Middle East Democracy, said for months, "There's been speculation that the elites would make some kind of effort to find a successor to Bouteflika, but the announcement that he would run again was widely interpreted as a sign of a failure to do so. It seems there was others submitted their candidacy on Sunday, including the former General Ali Ghediri and Rahid Nekaz, a pro-business candidate. He had previously, according to Swiss news reports, Bouteflika was remaining in Geneva for medical treatment. Dictator alert: Algerian law to submit 60,000 signatures in person, leaving many to wonder whether Bouteflika was well enough to return and submit his candidacy in Algiers. The candidate must, late on Sunday afternoon, carrying the required signatures, arrived at the Constitutional Court in Algiers to confirm Bouteflika's candidacy, but without any official present, an act likely to further provoke the ire of demonstrators who view him as unfit to rule. If Bouteflika continues to run, risks sliding into chaos, Omar Belhouchet, the founding editor of the Algerian newspaper El Watan, told France 24. He said McInerney said every step the regime takes is increasing the anger and frustration of people on the streets. This is potentially
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot bar. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that.